You speak to the universe constantly, but not with your mouth, not with your thoughts, with your state, your attention, your emotion, your energy. These are the words of a hidden language, and the universe listens, always. There's a strange secret nestled in the quiet moments of your life. It's not loud, it doesn't shout over the noise of your mind, but it's always speaking, and more than that, it's always listening. You may believe that you speak to the universe when you wish, when you pray, when you plead for change. But the deeper truth, the universe is listening long before your lips move. In this video, we'll decode how you really communicate with the universe, not through language as you've known it, not through hope or ritual alone, but through your focus, your emotion, and the beliefs you carry like constellations beneath your awareness. And most importantly, we'll begin to recognize how the universe replies. All true languages follow a hidden order. Grammar, tone, rhythm, the invisible skeleton beneath expression. The universe, too, has a language, but it's not taught in schools. It's remembered, not learned. It lives in your very being. Your attention is the syntax. It determines what you're talking about. Every time you return to a thought, a person, a possibility, you cast a sentence into the field of reality. Your emotion is the tone. How you feel as you focus is how the message is carried. Joy whispers one truth. Fear declares another. Your belief is the meaning. It provides the context that gives shape to the message. Just as the same word can mean different things in different stories, so does your signal change depending on what you expect to find. And finally, your repetition is the volume. The more you repeat the same signal through focus, feeling, and expectation, the louder your message becomes. You are not using language in the traditional sense. You are using vibration, and everything responds to it. This is not metaphorical. Quantum fields don't interpret sentences, but they do respond to coherence, frequency, and pattern. And you are a broadcaster of those very things, constantly, silently, powerfully. As Rumi once wrote, "What you seek is seeking you, but it doesn't follow your words. It follows your signal." Many speak to the universe as though making a request. I want peace. I hope for love. I will someday be strong. But the universe does not read your intentions. It mirrors your condition. Think of it like an echo. It doesn't wait for you to finish your sentence before responding. It simply reflects what you put out, not what you wish for, not what you imagine you deserve, but what you are. So when you say, "I will be confident," you speak in future tense. You affirm the absence of confidence in the now. But when you say, "I am grounded, I am growing, I am becoming," you speak as if it is already living within you, and the universe listens to that vibration more clearly. But don't lie to yourself. Don't coat your doubts in glitter and call it belief. The language of the universe has no patience for pretense. It listens for resonance, not perfection. Speak with what feels real to you. If "I am free" feels hollow, then whisper instead, "Freedom is arriving." If "I am loved" feels distant, try, "I am learning to let love in." Truth, even whispered, has more power than 1,000 shouted hopes. And when emotion rises alongside your words, when the declaration feels like a rising tide in your chest, that's when the universe hears you. Where your attention goes, reality flows. Imagine your attention like a cursor blinking on a blank page. Whatever you place it on, Your fears, your dreams, your pain, your possibilities is where the sentence begins. The universe doesn't discriminate. It doesn't judge. It simply writes where you point. Spend your days focusing on what's missing, and you send the signal. This is my world. This is what matters. Keep watching what you don't want, and you tell the universe, this is what I believe is real. Carl Jung said, what you resist persists. But why? Because resistance is still attention. It is still engagement. The energy you pour into a problem is often more than the energy you'd need to build the solution. But there's a quiet art in shifting focus, not avoidance, not denial. Just choosing where the story goes next. From problem to possibility, from scarcity to unfolding, from distraction to presence. Attention isn't just observation, it's declaration. It's how you signal importance to the unseen. And as strange as it sounds, life listens. If attention is the message, emotion is its electricity. It powers the broadcast. It shapes how far and how clearly your signal travels. A cold thought, I want to be at peace, is like a letter with no stamp. But a feeling, raw, alive, undeniable, is a thunderclap. When you feel something deeply, the universe doesn't just hear, it resonates. This is why gratitude is so potent. Not as a moral virtue, but as an amplifier. Gratitude vibrates at the frequency of fulfillment. When you feel grateful before the reason appears, you send a signal of completion, of alignment. But let's be clear, you don't need to fake happiness. This isn't about emotional dishonesty. In fact, repression creates distortion. Pretending to be calm when you're boiling inside? That's like trying to sing harmony with a mouth full of static. The signal becomes garbled. True emotional clarity is honesty without indulgence. It's feeling what's real, without letting it define your identity. As Lao Tzu said, to know others is intelligence. To know yourself is true wisdom. To master others is strength. To master yourself is true power. And that mastery begins with recognizing that emotion is not weakness. It is the very medium through which your soul communicates, not just to the world, but to the infinite. If your attention writes the sentence and emotion gives it power, then belief is the code that runs quietly in the background, deciding how that sentence is interpreted. Belief is the software of your consciousness. It defines the limits of your experience, often without your awareness. What you believe doesn't just shape what you see, it shapes what's even possible for you to see. You can't ask for abundance while holding the belief that life is hard and nothing comes easy. You can't invite deep love while believing you're fundamentally unworthy of being seen. The signal sent is not in the words you choose, but in the framework you accept as truth. And here's the twist. Many of your beliefs aren't yours. They were handed to you, inherited, programmed. Whispers from childhood, from culture, from past experiences repeating themselves until you call them reality. Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So look closer at the recurring thoughts you never question. I always mess this up. People like me don't get that. I'm just not someone who... These are not facts. These are scripts. And the moment you see them as scripts, you begin to reclaim the pen. Rewriting belief is not a one-time epiphany. It's a slow return, a remembering of who you are beneath the layers. And every time you catch a limiting belief and breathe something truer in its place, you clear the static. The universe doesn't respond to your affirmations alone. It responds to what you actually believe is real. So make your belief sacred. Make it honest. Make it wide enough to let light in. Now we turn the mirror. You've sent the message. But how does the universe respond? The reply never arrives through logic. It slips in through symbols, nudges, whispers, a gut feeling you can't shake, a repeated phrase you hear from 3 different people in one day, a strange coincidence that feels more like choreography than chance. This is not randomness. This is the universe replying in the only language it knows. Pattern, rhythm, resonance. Intuition is not just your mind making guesses. It is your deeper consciousness tuning into frequencies your intellect cannot reach. It is the soul reading between the lines of reality. To hear it clearly, you must become still, not forever. Just enough to quiet the noise, enough to sense the subtle shift. Meditation, silence, nature, breath. These are not rituals for escape. They are rituals of attunement. They help you receive. When your body tingles with a yes that makes no logical sense, when your heart leans towards something with no visible reason, pay attention. The universe is subtle, but it is never silent. One signal does not make a language. One declaration does not shape a world. The language of creation is learned through rhythm, through return, through repetition. Your subconscious doesn't respond to logic. It responds to pattern. Say something often enough with emotion, and the mind begins to believe it. Feel something deeply enough, and it begins to shape expectation. And what you expect begins to shape what you experience. You do not shift your reality by saying, "I am enough," once, and waiting for the world to agree. You shift it by saying it until it feels less like hope and more like memory. You don't convince the universe, you convince yourself. And when you do, the signal becomes clear, coherent, strong, resonant. This is why repetition matters. Not as a mindless chant, but as a sculpting of your own field. Morning rituals, where you speak your truth before the world speaks its noise. Evening reflections, where you choose your vibration before you sleep. Moments in the day where you return, again and again, to your chosen frequency. These are not acts of control. They are acts of alignment. You're not forcing the universe to respond. You're learning to speak fluently in the language it already hears. You've been speaking to the universe your entire life, but now you understand the language. Attention is your syntax. What you focus on is what you say. Emotion is your tone. It gives power and texture to your signal. Belief is your meaning. It shapes how your words are interpreted. Repetition is your volume. It determines how loudly your message is heard. And intuition is the moment the universe speaks back. This isn't a system. It's a dance, a relationship, a remembering. You are not separate from the field of creation. You are it. So speak clearly, focus deliberately, feel consciously, believe intentionally. And when the signs appear, listen closely. They were always meant for you. Thank you for watching.